So everyone's crazy in your family. There's a little bit of the
Yeah,
crazy gene, right? I mean, and I
yeah,
mean that in
oh,
the
yeah,
most positive way, right?
absolutely, no,
Because I can
we're like
relate.
my mom for years, she saw this sign and she wanted to put it, like, in our staff room, and I was like, "We can't do that, but we might do it now." Because I was like, "We're gonna scare the new kids that come in," but it was like, "You don't have to be crazy to work here, we can teach you."
Oh my God, you have to put that up.
Some things are gonna shift, not everything works every time. But as long as you can have that awareness that like, "Oh, we need to shift this," you're in a better spot than you're just like, "Nope, I'm gonna do the exact same thing every time, and it's just gonna." And it's actually the thing that I now have kids coming back because of that
Oh, wow.
with the fun, so we've really leaned into it. Again, that orientation I talked about earlier, you're on your summer break. Like, I want you to have fun. I still need you to get the tasks done that I need you to get done, but you can totally have fun, appropriate fun. How do I bring that to a farm? Because that's not the normal thing. And my mom came up with this phrase years ago that we bring class and elegance to farming. The luxury packaging, the attention to detail, the elevated experience.
Welcome to JOY², Live with Joy. This is the podcast where we get to explore the power of joy, purpose, passion, and fun, and how joy, when practiced intentionally, transforms how we live, work, and lead. I'm your host, Greg De Koker, and I believe that when you live with joy, everything gets better. And I mean everything. And this isn't just about feeling good, it's about unlocking joy as a resource, one that fuels better leadership, meaningful work, and thriving lives. Each week, we share the stories, the insights, and the sparks that ignite more joy because joy is contagious, it's powerful, and it belongs to all of us. So lean in, stay curious, and let's create more joy together. This is JOY², brought to you by Essentia Group. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the JOY² Live with Joy podcast, where we explore the hidden power of joy in leadership, work, and life. I'm really excited about today's conversation because my guest is someone who doesn't just talk about joy, she radiates it. And if you've ever been around someone whose energy instantly lifts the room, you're about to meet one of those humans. So today I'm joined by Courtney Stevens, co-owner of Wilmot Orchards, one of Canada's and Ontario's most loved and vibrant farm experiences. So born and raised in Newcastle, Courtney is one of the team leaders behind a beautiful 150-acre orchard and 35 acres of pick-your-own blueberries. But what makes Wilmot so special isn't just the land, it's the feeling you get when you're there. As Chief Creative Officer, Courtney leads everything from marketing and branding to customer experience and events to hiring, training, and team culture. So basically everything. Those are my words, not her words, just in case her partners are listening. And you can feel her fingerprints all over it. So there's a sense of warmth, care, and community woven into everything that they do. But beyond titles and roles, Courtney is just an incredible human. We met through our coaching community with Hina Khan probably over 3 years ago. And
Yep.
from day one, she's always shown up as her authentic self, thoughtful, kind, deeply caring, always smiling, and often laughing. Just someone you wanna be around, someone who, people love being in her energy. I love being in her energy. I think people transform in your energy too, Courtney. And, yeah, so she loves people, she loves to laugh, and she has this beautiful way of making people feel seen, heard, welcomed, lighter, brighter, and just overall better. Like, you just yeah, people wanna be in your energy. So I'm glad to be in your energy and in your presence today. So, yeah, welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Oh my gosh, what an intro. Thank you, Greg. And I'm so excited. This is my first ever podcast. So you are
Oh,
like
no
kicking it off
way!
strong for
Oh
me.
oh my gosh, that's
Thank
amazing. Okay, well, I
you.
can send this to the next person that introduces you to the next podcast.
There you go. Yeah, that's my new intro. We'll just send it to everybody from now on.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I look at, like, every interaction we've had, and there've been several, right, over the years, and, so a
Yep.
lot of them online through Henna's community, and I got to meet your dad, Charles, at one of Henna's, like, picnics, and
Yep.
it was no surprise meeting him, and I got goosebumps just saying it because he's so warm and so friendly and so interested. Like, he asked me
Yeah.
so many questions. It wasn't about, "Hey, let me tell you about me. Let me tell you about the incredible business, that I built or anything like that. It was like he was generally interested. He didn't try to be interesting like a lot of people and maybe me
He
early
he
on, way back when.
he's you know what? He's, like, expert level, like, almost Olympic level 20 questions. He
Yes.
just he really does. It is either, like, "Let me tell you about, like, what I wanna talk about," or
Right.
"Let me ask you 800 questions." There's really no
Oh
in
my god,
between
it
with
was so
him.
good. It was just he's so engaging, he's so kind, right? And it's
Yeah.
just so fun and funny, and I was like I could see it was no surprise that he's your dad. Then I had the awesome opportunity to meet your mom, Judy, in Arizona for
Yep.
one of Hannah's retreats. So Hannah's the
Yeah.
glue here.
She really is. I mean, she is that connector, is she not? Like
And she's amazing. So we both love Hannah, we're huge fans. So her ears are
Yeah.
probably burning, or what's the expression? Is it burning or ringing?
Yeah.
Ringing,
I
I
would say
think.
burning.
Okay,
Whatever.
burning, yeah. Okay, maybe
Yeah.
it's burning, yeah, okay, we'll go with that one. They're on fire. She's on fire.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Yeah, so yeah, thanks again for being here, and I thought I'd kick off by, just asking you, like, I know how busy you are. I just kinda rattle off, like, you're doing so much in the business, you're
Just a few things.
busy with your life, obviously, and
Mhm.
leading your team and everything. So yeah, just what made you say yes to this conversation?
I mean, our relationship, as you've already mentioned, is a couple years deep at this point, and the feelings that you have about me that you very nicely shared, it's reciprocated. Like, it was always you could feel your energy before you walked into any room we were gonna both be in, and you were always you could find you from a mile away because you were laughing, you were having a great conversation with somebody. So this was, like, such a no-brainer. I was like, "This is an easy conversation." This was, like, the simplest yes I've had in quite a while.
Thank you so much. It's great. I love it. It's almost like, I can feel your energy in the room too. And it was almost like if I'm on one corner and you're on the other corner, I want to get to your corner because it's
Yeah,
always
you're, like,
like
crossing the room.
I'm having fun in my corner for sure, right? But I was
Yeah.
just like, it always seems like, gosh, I think it's not that it's a competition, like a joy competition, but it's like
No.
she seems to be having even more fun. Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that one time where she had us all in the room and we had to, like, write out those cards for people?
Yeah.
I still have those. I don't know if you still have yours, but I definitely still have mine. And it's one of those things, like, we weren't supposed to put names on it, but you can almost tell who wrote them just based on that. So, like, I know I have a Greg card in that mix. And they're in my bathroom, like, I kid you not, they're sitting in my bathroom right now because 'cause they're
Oh,
such great little reminders and touch points again when you are having that low moment of like,
mm,
"Wait, this is how I come across to other people," and that's really awesome because you don't understand how you come across to other people sometimes
right.
until you get that feedback, and
I
so it's
love that.
always just that lovely, like, "Oh, wait, I'm glad it's like, I'm glad that's what you're getting. That's not what I'm feeling, not always, but, like, I'm glad that's what you're getting."
I definitely have those cards somewhere. I'm gonna look for them. I definitely did not throw those out. That's not something I would throw out. In fact, I actually incorporated that into my own retreats, like my still center retreats, right? And I wanted it to be something that people had, like, what do you think of the other guests? We're co-creating this really special
And
space. And,
yeah.
just what do you want to share? How do they inspire you? What do they mean to you? What do you want to say to them? Whatever that is. So I do love that. That's a great example of, yeah, creating joy. So, what does joy mean to you kind of right now in your life?
It's that you know what? Sometimes I think it's that little peak if you're in that, like, the stress or the worry or the spiral of whatever's happening and, if you watch the news, which is just horrendous, and I try not to all the time, but the joy is that peak, that crappy things can be happening, stressful things can be happening, and I can still really enjoy this
Yeah.
moment, whatever that is. For me, it's been a mix of, like, one of my favorite team members is in today, so I'm gonna do everything I can to spend as much time with him as humanly possible while he's here today. I got a new book the other day, so I was like, "Clear my schedule, I am nosing this book." I am a longtime K-pop girly, so the BTS comeback has been a huge joy moment for me in the last, like, couple days. But then also, like, I get to go to a chiropractor later, and, like, that's just gonna feel really good. So that's just all these little moments of, like, just
Yeah, the deep breath
and
where you can.
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that it kind of all it sounds like it's all about being present, and I I realized something a little bit different. I probably heard it 1,000 times over the last, 20 or 30 years, but I kinda realized, when I'm not present, like, when I'm not present in the moment, it's because I'm either kind of, maybe regretting something from the past, thinking about the past, or I'm worried about something in the future, but I'm not.
Yeah.
It's like, usually it's one of the 2, and I was like, "Wow, I can't do anything about the past, and I can't do anything about the future in this moment. All I can do is make
Yeah.
good decisions," and it's just a great reminder, and it's something that I've really gotten present to is those little moments. Like I remember my 2 kids, who maybe don't always hang out together, but they like each other. They love each other. Beck, our son is 17 and Tabitha's 14. And they were just sitting on the couch, kind of like leaning up against each other, just laughing. And I was like, oh, wow. Just soaking that in and just making the time to really just and I did snap a couple of pictures. I didn't post it or anything or even share it
Yeah.
with them because then they probably would never wanna hang out on the couch together again, but it was just for
Exactly.
my own personal joy,
Yeah.
right? I'm not even using it as a screensaver because if they borrow my phone or see my
You're
phone,
done.
then I'm
Yep.
done. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I love that, those little moments. So
And I think it is that. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I had an absolute stress spiral yesterday on the back of a phone call that I had to have. It's still there. It's the balance, but I also, like, jumped into his community, and I was like, "Okay, people, I'm having a spiral. Help me get out of it." And everybody jumping in that way, and then getting to go home and read my book, going for a walk on the farm with my mom and the crazy dog that we have that needs, like, so much energy. You want joy and energy, you take a Springer Spaniel for a walk on a farm, and you've never seen anything happier in your life.
oh my god. So everyone's crazy in your family. There's a little bit of the
Yeah,
crazy gene, right? I mean, and I
yeah,
mean that in
oh,
the
yeah,
most positive way, right?
absolutely, no,
Because I can
we're, like
relate. I can
no.
relate.
My mom for years, she saw this sign and she wanted to put it, like, in our staff room, and I was like, "We can't do that, but we might do it now." Because I was like, "We're gonna scare the new kids that come in," but it was like, "You don't have to be crazy to work here, we can teach you."
Oh my god, you have to put that up.
I know, I'm like, "It does actually work." I mean, like, part
That's
of
so
my
good.
in my hiring process, I do this, like, orientation where I basically bring the kids that have applied and their parents in, and it was like, "Here's the standards and expectations." But literally within that, I was like, "There is a specific type of weird that you need to be to work here, and not
Yeah.
everybody is that that weird." And that's okay. But, like, there's a specific level that you need to be to fit in here.
Oh my god, that is so
Yeah, I
good.
feel like I've changed my status on that, and we really do need to bring that sign in.
Oh, that's so good. I think
Yeah.
it's just so honest, and it's so real, it's so fun too. It kinda, like, gives it's kinda like giving people permission or creating a space where maybe they can give themselves permission to be themselves, right?
Yeah.
And embrace that, that little bit of craziness. So I love that. And so,
Oh, yeah.
what are those other things that you do? You've named a few which are amazing that
Mhm.
to kinda create or cultivate joy for you personally. Like, what are those other things? Like, if you're not
Mm.
feeling it, how do
Yeah.
you kinda create it or cultivate it?
I got to the point where I wrote, like, a list of things that, like, I really enjoy doing that I truthfully have to be reminded of sometimes because it's so easy, right? You're overwhelmed and you just sit on the couch and scroll, and then, like, 4 hours has gone by, right? And you're not actually rested, you're not actually feeling better, you're just numbing.
Yeah, right. Doom scrolling or whatever,
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
And I am terrible at that. I don't like the reminder when it comes up every week of, "This is on average how many hours you spent on your phone this week." It's a
Yeah.
terrifying number.
Yes.
But it it that list is really useful to come back to, and whether that is tidying something in the house because I love looking at a tidy space, like, it's just calming and quiets the mind. If I turned this camera around, my office would look very different than what you can see right now. It's not always there. So, it's a reminder that sometimes I'm like, "Okay, maybe if I have 5 minutes, we're gonna take a moment and, like, tidy this pile and sort through this and get rid of what we don't need." That kind of thing. Going on a walk, like, I live right beside the lake. I can get to the lake in, like, 2 minutes, and that lovely walk,
Mhm.
hopefully with this warmer weather, is much more nicer a
Yeah.
much nicer experience than in the blistering cold that we've had this winter. But even yesterday, for me, it was like petting the dog. because she's just as everybody's animals are, like, they're just so happy to see you, and they're so happy to get any attention from you, and that just, like, that joy radiates. Or snuggling with my cat at home because the dog lives on the farm. Um,
Unconditional love, right? I mean, it's like
Absolutely.
it's there when you want it, and they're just there
Yeah.
waiting for it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
And, like, they're just dying for you to pay attention to them. Especially this, like, literally the most Velcro animal you've ever had. Like, there's a picture of her last week sitting on my chest, and I was like, "Okay, enough. Like, I can't breathe, and you're,
Aw.
like, 50 pounds. Like, get
Aw,
off
it's so
me."
good.
It is getting excited to read a book or, like, a new TV series coming out or I love cooking. I got that from my mom, so, like, is it a fun recipe that I get to try? I would love somebody to clean up after me, that would be real joy.
That's my wish too.
Um,
I'm in your boat there. Yeah,
yeah, I was
exactly.
like, "I will cook the food, somebody else can clean up the mess,
Yes, please.
please."
Yes, please. Yeah.
It's that it's that kind of thing. I don't think it has to be really big, but it's also they can be big, they can be small, like, I also I'm such a foodie, I love going out to dinner, so, like, if I can go to a new restaurant with a friend, peak, like,
Yes.
we're gonna have a great time, which is also, why I created our supper clubs at the farm. Because realistically,
Yes.
it was such a selfish moment of, like, I want a fancy dinner that I don't have to go to Toronto for, so now I just do it here.
I can't wait to check one of those out. I know I've
I'm
come
so
so
excited to
close,
have
and
you.
timing hasn't worked, but I'm definitely gonna make it out there and bring some friends. Yeah, because the food looks amazing. The whole experience, the way that you set it up, your attention to detail, and the way you create experiences is really special. Like, you really do care. I mean, some people say they care. You really do care.
Well, and that is, I would say, another thing, like, that
Hmm.
brings me joy is I love, like, a luxury, fine dining, high-end shopping experience, like I have for years, or like a hotel experience. I love it. I actually love the pretension of it. I love everything about it. I love the overreaching.
Yes.
I love all the little details, and so
The packaging. I've seen you unwrap some of
oh,
your stuff, like, whether it's like a
yeah,
purse or whatever. No, yeah, no, you definitely have some, your tastes
I
are
love it.
exquisite. Yeah.
I love it, and so but it is so for me, from a workplace, like, from a workspace, how do I bring that to a farm? Because that's not the normal thing, and my mom came up with this phrase years ago that we bring class and elegance to farming.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
so for me, that makes sense of, like, the luxury packaging, the attention to detail, the elevated experience, and not falling into what a lot of other farms do, and when I say a lot of other farms, I mean, like, every other farm I know of where they lean into the tractors and the plaid and the whatever. Trust me, my business partners lead into it. They absolutely love their John Deere tractors and their plaid shirts and their big boots, and that's why they don't get to be out
Ian
sometimes.
Ian and Ian squared.
Ian and Ian, yep.
We gotta get Ian
Yeah,
squared on Joy squared. I think that might be another, episode down the road.
that I mean, you want high energy, you got one
Yeah.
of those Ians on you. If you really wanna look, I've known both of them, like, since they were really little,
Right.
since we were all really little, because 'cause we're not that far in age, but one of them, like, we did a lot of this through our life, so it was like,
Right.
I went to nursery school with his older brother, so I was literally around when he was born, he and his identical twin brother, that's fun. Oh, yeah,
Wow. They're not both named
they're
Ian, though. These are 2 separate
they are
people.
not. Yes, they are. Um, and then they worked for us as summer students when we were all in high school, and,
Wow.
their parents going, "Are you sure you want both of
Yeah, right.
because they're a handful.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They're such a handful. And then, like, coming back again, and we overlapped in high school, and technically we went to the same university, but, like, because it's university and we didn't have any of the same classes, we never ran into each other. But we were there, and now he's my business partner, and as we joke, they're the my dad calls them the brothers I never wanted, but that feels not so great, so I call them my work husbands. Yeah, I joke that I just, like, stand, I yell "Ian," somebody comes running. Uh,
It doesn't matter which one.
no,
That's
oftentimes
efficient
I don't
too.
it's not specific, I just
Yeah.
need an Ian.
And Ian, oh my gosh, there's a podcast right there. I know we were talking about
Yeah.
podcasts.
So, but yeah, super hyper. Like, we did a photo shoot a couple years ago, and it's the only photo we didn't get that I thought of in hindsight, and it tells you everything you need to know about us. I gave them specific, like, colors that they had to wear. If I need to take them somewhere, it's like, "Do not wear this, do not wear that, you're wearing this color."
Yes.
Like, but I forgot to specify footwear.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Um, so the one was in his steel-toed work boots, and
Right.
I was in Jimmy Choo,
Okay.
and that tells me everything you need to
You got
know.
some training to do, some
Yeah,
education and some training.
yeah.
In the class and
That
elegance department, not that they're not classy, but I mean, they need to step up the shoe wear is the
yeah.
message you wanna get out.
There are some moments where I'm like, "Nope, we're not putting that on TV. We're not
Oh my
putting that
god,
on
that's
social."
hilarious, though.
Yeah,
It is so good, like, it's so real. That's how you don't kinda hold anything back, like, that's another one of the things I love about you is that you're just very real and authentic, and you just share things as they happen, and there's no sugarcoating, there's no pretense, there's no trying to make it seem better than it is. It's just it is what it is, and
it
that's
is.
how share it.
Well, and I think too, like, I don't know if you've seen those things online where it's like, if you think I'm, like, upfront, you should hear what I keep inside of my head. There are moments of that. The filter actually works pretty well a lot of the time. Sometimes it doesn't. Um, but I also there's a couple things, like, it's how you say things to people as to how
Right.
they're going to accept it. And there's also that thing that Hannah told us years ago, like, if somebody's ready to hear it, you can't say anything wrong, and if they're not ready to hear it, you can't say anything right.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And also too when you're speaking to someone and like make them the most important person in the room. They are the most important person in the room. If there's a lot of people, because I know, I would be thinking in my head years ago, like at a networking, oh, I'm trapped in this conversation. Maybe they're not a potential client. Am I wasting my time? And then I realized, and it was really kind of, through henna and just, my own growth and self awareness that um, there's so much that can come out of that conversation when you're totally present. Maybe I'm sharing something they needed to hear. Maybe they're sharing something I needed to hear. Maybe they know someone that would be a good connection for me. Maybe I know someone that's a good connection. Maybe it has nothing to do with connections. Maybe it's just us becoming friends, and or
Yeah.
whatever, right? So, but it really changed things because it took me out of that little checklist in my head to just
Mhm.
I'm talking to this person and I'm all in, right? And if I get a chance to talk to some other people in the room, then that's great. And if we spend most of my time talking to that person, that's fine too. So
Well, and I think the other thing is, and that's something I teach my summer kids that work for us in the summer during our picking season, is like, the person's gonna pick up on that energy, whether you take
yeah,
everything else away.
yeah,
Of, like, if
exactly.
you're going, "Oh, I really wanna get to that person," and, like, your eyes keep flicking down or you're looking at your watch or whatever that is, that
Yeah.
person's gonna pick up that energy, and whether you have the best conversation ever, they're probably not gonna have had a great experience of you because you're gonna make them feel like they are in the way.
Right, and that you're not like, you don't care, you're not
They're an
interested,
inconvenience.
yeah,
That's the
they're an
word I wanted.
inconvenient
They're an
yeah,
inconvenience.
you're right, and I remember I read this book, Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now.
Mhm.
It was a tough read, I gotta be honest, I love Eckhart Tolle. They have a shorter version called Practicing the Power of the Now, but when I was reading the book and kinda struggling through it because it was just very cerebral and a bit intense, I did enjoy it, but it wasn't any well, for me, it wasn't an easy read, and I realized why I was reading the book when I came to this one line that he said. He goes, "Whenever you realize you're not present, you're present." And
Yeah.
for me, that was such a gift because in those moments, maybe where because often we do get distracted, and it's not because we don't wanna be in the conversation, but maybe we just something popped into our head, "Oh my gosh, I forgot to do that," or, "I should do that," and, you take yourself out of the moment. But when I realized that, and I remember I was in a conversation once, and I realized that I was talking to one of my coworkers, kind of one of my colleagues, team members, and his former partner, who I just met. And I realized kind of 10 minutes into the conversation, I wasn't even there. And I just said, guys, I got to apologize. Like, I've been thinking about something else and I haven't been totally present, and I'm present now, and I just want to apologize. And can you let me back into the
Yeah.
conversation, right?
Can we start this over
Can we
again?
circle back and
Yeah.
can you
Yeah.
tell me everything you just shared? No, I didn't say that. But anyway, and you could tell everything just shifted. My friend Paul said later, he goes, yeah, wow, that definitely made a difference because, he could tell I wasn't in. And of course she could
Yeah.
tell, but just to say it and to not make a big deal about it. And it wasn't about them. Like, it wasn't that I wasn't interested in them. And I think that's how people take it often is
Yeah.
we often take things personally. So,
My
Whew.
biggest challenge on that, like, my biggest practice moments on those is
Yeah.
always when we're open for picking during the season and somebody's talking to me and I feel like I can hear and, like, one of the kids starts answering a question and I feel my attention immediately go with, like, how are they answering that question? And I literally have to stop myself. I used to be able to do both. My brain's not
Right.
there anymore.
Right.
I'm not in my 20s. Like, my brain cannot split like that anymore. And I also got to the point where I was like, I'm losing this. You can see me start to lag in that
Right.
conversation.
Right.
And I've trained that kid to answer the question. Like, I've put the training into them, let them do it. Me interrupting either conversation is not going to work. And if they if we need to adjust an answer later, like I can ask them how that conversation went. What did you say? And go, okay, next time somebody asks that, let's say it this way. But I don't have to do it in that moment and I can still stay present. That is my biggest practice moment every year when there's like so many things happening and I catch myself trying to listen to like five different conversations at the same time. And I was like, nobody's benefiting from this anymore.
And it's great awareness, and I remember, like, another huge gift that Hannah, gave me was, often when someone like, if she's coaching someone and someone realizes that maybe they've been thinking about something a certain way, and now they're thinking about it a different way, but they kind of regret the fact that they've been thinking about it, another way, and she'll always say, "That's great awareness." She jumps right
Yep.
in, and she's like, "That's great awareness." And I say that now too, and I feel it, and I say it to myself as well, as opposed to because I think, generally speaking, our tendency, certainly mine, is like, maybe to start beating myself up for not realizing that sooner, as opposed to celebrating the fact that I realize it now. Like,
Oh,
that's better than never, right? So,
exactly. And that the awareness, I always say, like, awareness is your first step.
yes.
So, like, being aware of it. The forgiveness statements are so
Yeah,
helpful.
I
Like, I
know.
forgive myself for judging myself that my
Yeah.
new truth is now. And then also the thing of that she always says too is like, it did get you to this point.
That's right.
Like,
That's another
whatever
good reminder.
belief system, ways of operating, whatever that is, it got you to this point. So it did work.
Yes, that's right.
But now that you want to go past this point, we're going to do something different.
And it's kinda like, another way to say it, what she said and I've heard before is like, we made the best decisions we could based
Yep.
on where we're at, in our
Yep.
life and our awareness with our wisdom based on our experiences. Now we have some new experiences. That's why even like reading the same book, like whether
Mhm.
it's a month from now or a year from now, we're a different person because we've had all these different
Absolutely.
experiences and different conversations and different levels of awareness. And
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
every year for me, again, going into blueberry season, like it's technically the same process, but we're dealing with different people, different crops. I got a different team. Like some things are gonna shift. Not everything works every time. But as long as you can have that awareness that like, oh, we need to shift this, you're in a better spot than you're just like, nope, I'm gonna do the exact same thing every time, and it's just gonna it's not gonna work eventually.
It's so funny 'cause, I literally have to catch myself if I'm moving kind of in one area and ask someone for feedback, or even if they don't and someone gives me feedback, but I'm so focused on the path that I'm going to. My first reaction, not always, but maybe usually, if it's something I'm really passionate about and I think, like, I've nailed it, when someone kind of gives me, their input, in my head, I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm a no. I'm not in my head, I'm a no, but I don't say it out loud, but I was like, "I gotta just be with it for a little bit because
Yep.
I'm not always like, 'Oh, that's a great idea,' or I might say, 'That's interesting,' which is my dad's
Yeah.
way of saying,
Yep.
sometimes I don't like it."
Yeah.
That's a nice way to say I
Interesting
don't like
covers all
it.
things. Yeah.
But then I'll think about it, like even, the title sponsor of my podcast, I mean, I was sharing kind of the 3 pillars of joy-led leadership because 'cause I'm writing a book as well. It
So
was
exciting.
purpose, passion, and playfulness,
Mhm.
and it's part of my purpose in life as well to co-create more joy in the world by instilling a deeper sense of purpose, passion, and playfulness in people and organizations. And he said, "Greg, I don't know if playfulness is the best word." And I love the P's, the 3 P's. I've had that as my purpose for 20 years. When he first said it, I was like, and I was presenting to a group of his, executives. He has a panel of senior level mining executives. And, uh, and he said, and so I did tone it down. I changed it from purpose, passion, and playfulness to purpose, passion, and play. I thought it was a little easier to digest. And
You
then
know
I
what? I
then
love the playfulness.
I know
Like,
I do too. I do too, but
I would lean into it.
no, and
Definitely.
and that is kind of a big part of me, but what I did do is I decided to change it to fun because I just thought kind of from a corporate standpoint, and talking to CEOs and senior level executives, I think the idea of playfulness at the office may not resonate out of context, right? I think it's a
Yeah.
so fun, it's like, "Hey, we can do great work, we could do serious work, and we can have a lot of fun doing it." So but
Yeah.
it took me a while, like, Courtney, I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Hell no,"
Oh, yeah,
thanks or
totally.
no thanks for the, suggestion.
Suggestion.
And then after I
You're
thought
like
about it a little bit more, I
yeah,
did
you're like,
change.
"Hey, I didn't ask for that, but,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
great that you felt comfortable sharing." That's all I end up
Thanks for
with it. I'm like,
sharing.
"Thanks
Not.
for sharing.
Yeah,
Didn't
right.
ask for your opinion." No.
Right, yeah, oh my
But
god.
you know what? I love that because I do that too, especially with our team, and it's got I mean, we've really gone with it, and it's actually the thing that I now have kids coming back because of that
Oh, wow.
with the fun, so we've really
Yeah,
leaned into it.
good.
Again, that orientation I talked about earlier, I literally say in that moment, like, "You're on your summer break, like, I want you to have fun. I still need you to get the tasks done that I need you to get done, but you can totally have fun appropriate fun because 'cause I'm dealing with teenagers.
Yeah. That's a
Appropriate fun with it."
good qualification.
Yeah, caveat. Because again, like, people are gonna pick up on that energy. Like, if you're dreading going to work and you don't wanna be there and you're dealing with 1,000 people a day, somebody in that at least some one person in there is gonna go, "Oh, thank this like, he doesn't seem happy to be here."
And it
Um,
leaks out and it pours out. Like, if
it
they're not
does.
happy with
Yeah,
their job, if they're not happy coming to work, which most employees are not,
yeah,
right? Then they're like, it's gonna come out in their experiences. Like, the more that your team, more your employees love their job and love coming to work, the more that your customers are gonna love,
absolutely.
Wilmot coming to Wilmot Orchards because it's such a
Yeah,
special place because they feel it in every interaction. Not like, "Oh, I hope we just get this one guy because the other 6, people weren't great." It's like you're training, you're hiring well, you're training well,
yeah.
giving them permission to have fun and make sure you meet these
Yeah, I'm like, "I also need you to, like, take the money and do this and do
Yeah,
that, and,
right,
like, can you
be
go pack this
responsible.
up for me?" And, like, all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Totally,
Hmm.
but it is that, and the other thing for me, which is kind of like a guiding principle with them now, is this is the joking way of saying it, but, like,
Mm.
I wanna ruin every other workplace you go to. Um,
I haven't heard you say that. I love that, though.
yeah,
Oh my god, I'm sending you my resume after this, just for the
okay,
record. I wanna I
fantastic,
wanna
let's go.
work with you.
I was like, "You and dad can
Mm.
be the Wilmot greeters at the front
Oh my
door.
god, I
You'll
would
have a
love
great
it.
time."
Oh my god, I would love
Um,
that.
but in the serious aspect of it, I'm 99% of the time, I am a kid's first job ever. I am that first experience, that welcome into the workforce. And I also understand that within that mix of kids, like I said to you earlier, we sit about 22 a summer. Somewhere in that mix every year are future supervisors, managers, and maybe even C-suite executives. And I want them to look back at their time with us and go, I really loved that. How can I create that? How can I integrate some of that into my own teams that I now lead? So, whether that is we do little things of like, we have funny weekly questions where it's like, you have, are you a toilet paper over or under type of person? I think this
That's
year
a
that one
huge
gets really contentious
Oh,
actually.
really? There's only
This
one
year,
there's only one way to do it, right?
I agree.
It's over, right?
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Anybody that puts under, I
If you
feel like
say if you
that should be like my litmus test. You say under, sorry, you can't work here.
that's Yeah, if you would've said under, I would've said the podcast is over. No, no, I'm
Yeah.
kidding, I'm kidding.
Um, I think this year there's gonna be one of, like, do you prefer flats or drumsticks for your chicken wings? I feel like
Wow,
that
that's a
one's gonna get
great
really contentious.
one. Oh, that's a great one, yeah.
And we have that on a board, and everybody's got, like, a little magnet with their name on it, and you get to pick, and that becomes, like, a conversation starter for the week for them, and I don't care if they argue over it because I think it's hilarious, and I would rather them do that than, like, gossip about their friends from high school. Like, I would rather that happen. We also, a couple years ago, started doing they get put into teams during training, and it now carries through, and we have weekly team games. The competitiveness that comes out in that is hilarious. Do you want the reality TV show? It's that. Um, and then at the end of the season, we do what we now call family dinner, and we have dinner. We make dinner for everybody, and it's the same menu. We're not allowed to change it. Again, they get very, very particular about it. We cannot change this menu. And then last year we brought in like an inflatable water slide and we did a ton of games. And this year when we were reaching out to everybody to find out who's coming back, of the 22 kids, I'm currently sitting at 17 of them coming back.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, and that's it. And I have
You
these
have
like I've
choices,
had
right?
people coming up a year after year for like up to 10 years with us.
Wow.
And it's not like I everybody always says like, "Wow, that really has a lot to do and say about how you treat them." And yes, it's there, and I appreciate that, but it just seems really obvious to me. Like,
Yeah,
that's just how
how
you
you are.
do
That's
things.
who you
Yeah,
are. No one
and I got a lot of
it's
that from my
amazing.
parents, like,
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, they were always that kind of thing where it would be not to the same extent, but we had a much smaller team when I was growing up doing blueberries,
right,
but it would be super simple to just like, "Oh, it's a late night, nobody brought dinner, we'll order pizza."
right.
Um, whatever that is. My parents have very quietly paid tuition for some of our
Oh,
summer kids that were
wow.
struggling. They've just outrightly paid their school tuition for the next year.
That's really special.
Um,
Yeah, that's very generous. Yeah, very loving,
it's
very
just it
caring.
feels really obvious to me.
Mm,
Because they always had this adage of you only get out of people what you put into them.
yeah, right. And you
So
guys
I'm gonna be
put a lot in. You're
really
invested.
selective. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna get really specific and almost harsh in the hiring process, especially when I'm currently sitting at like 21 applications for what, 5 spots?
Right.
Like I get to be
22
harsh.
applications.
Yes, yes.
Don't forget.
um, in that I get to be really picky about it, and I will admit that I come across almost harsh in that orientation moment with the parents there, where I'm like, if you're the type of family that likes to go to the cottage every weekend, this is not the right place for you. I've got 1,500 people coming every day on the weekend.
Yeah,
Like, I can't have you saying, "Oh, I wanna have the weekend off," when I'm only open for 3 weekends. Like, I'm
yeah.
asking a very small amount of your time.
Right.
Um, but I can't do this without
Mm,
we have as I said to you before we started, we had 25,000 people come last year. I can't handle all of those people by myself across a 20-acre radius. Like I can't and 3 different cash registers open at any time. I need them to be there. The business doesn't work without them. So it is that once you get the right mix, you treat them really well. The other one was you never ask somebody to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. So I'll clean a toilet, I'll take out the garbage. I've done all of those things. Everything I'm asking them to do, I have done it at some point in time.
that's amazing. And it seems like that, with everything, we were talking about this, earlier that there's so much suffering going on and at work, and at home and everywhere in between. And I think a big part of it is because leaders aren't taking responsibility for the culture that they're creating, for the work environment they're creating. And I think to lead with joy intentionally is a lot different than just having joy being like kind of a reward for, oh, okay, we hit these sales targets or we hit these milestones or we
Yep.
met these metrics. And that's all important, like you said, all very important to the business. Let's do those and let's have fun doing it. Like what like why aren't people more employees looking forward to going to work and enjoying being at work? right? So I love all these things that you're doing to create an environment that, your team wants to be part of and they look forward to being part of because the ripple effect of that, joy squared, the
Absolutely.
power of joy is incredible. When they get home, the way they're with their families, their friends, their neighbors, just the joy does radiate. It is contagious. It does spread. They've done studies on it. Like you
Yeah.
have
Oh,
this
good
joyful
totally.
encounter and then you're continuing. Like it's just this.
Absolutely. And that's like, and it's sometimes difficult the other way, and we have to explain that and I to the new kids every year and the returning kids every year, and even I have to remind myself of it, is if a guest is snapping at you, it's probably not something you did. It's probably something that's been building throughout the day, and you just happen to be the outlet that they took it out on. And I would rather it be wouldn't we all rather it be the other way around?
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just it, right? It was such a sweet moment, and I've told this story before. The very last day of our picking season last year, I was in the back room working on my computer, and one of the new hires from last year was having dinner. And it was just the two of us back there.
Mm.
And he said to me, "You know what, Courtney? I really liked working here this summer. I talked to my friends, and they all hate going to their jobs and just
Uh,
don't like who they work with. And I get to tell them that I love going to work and I have the best boss." And I was like, "Oh my god, you have to stop, I'm gonna cry." Like, and this is a 16-year-old boy sharing that completely unprompted.
Yeah, one of his first jobs, maybe his first job, like you said before, how
Yeah,
important is that? Like, this is how it can be. And I don't you like to use the word should, but this is how it should be. Like I don't like
absolutely.
shitting on people, but it's just, well, let's take better care of each other, right? And like what a special moment for you. And I know I know you take all that in and you take it
Yeah.
seriously and you don't take it for granted, which is great. And it's like, what I probably asked over 50 senior level executives, even people like you who believe in taking really good care of their employees. And I'm like, what do you think the typical senior level executive would think if they heard their team laughing kind of together? The typical one.
Oh, it would be immediately like, "Focus on your work, like, what the hell are you doing?"
Right. Yeah. Why are you goofing around? Why are you being
Yeah,
unproductive? Why are you taking your job seriously? Whereas the way that I would imagine the way that you would think about that is, wow, did I, like we did a
yeah,
great job hiring, we did a great job training. They get along so well. Imagine how that translates into customer experience, into innovative ideas, suggestions on how to improve things. Just everything gets better. Like
yeah.
my stance is joy is the fastest path to performance. Right? If you create a
Yeah,
joyful work environment, like that is the best because people are looking forward to they want to give more. You're not asking them to check their emotions at the door. You want them to bring their full selves in. Let's do great work and let's have a lot of fun doing it, which is what you do over there.
absolutely. Yeah, and I do also go with, like, I understand, like, it happens outside of work and all that kinda stuff. I was like, I don't want it to come to work, and and I will also say, I myself have experienced anxiety, depression, and PTSD. I understand what that feels like too. If that's happening for you and you need to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. If you're open to sharing, fantastic. If we need to shift something for you, let me know. We'll do our best for you. Like, it's understanding there's a balance, I think, of like, I don't want like, I'm also dealing with teenagers. They're either related, they're friends, or they're dating.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna know about it.
Right.
Like,
That's right.
and I say that to them, like, even if you know that I know that you're in a relationship, I don't wanna know about it at work. I don't want, like, people to be able to tell because this is a workplace. Like, we've joked at some point in time, I'm like, "It's a business, not a dating service. Like, can we focus, people?" Um, because we've struggled with that in the past where it was like, I still need you to be professional. It's still like you are still the face of the business. You're the first people are interacting with when they arrive, and you can have fun doing it appropriately.
Yes. And I think appropriate is such a great word because you've also helped to define what that is specifically, right? For Wilmot. So I love that. And I love all these things you do to create more joy and to cultivate more joy with your team. What about those things that block joy? Like how do you remove those blocks kind of personally and professionally? What are some of the things that you do?
Hmm. Um, Look, my therapist gets paid a lot during
Yeah.
blueberry season. Um,
Oh, you're awesome.
because but it's true, like,
Yeah.
that anxiety, depression, PTSD I just mentioned,
Mhm.
it was
Yeah.
work related. It was absolutely related to blueberries.
Yeah.
And in 2023, I couldn't be there. That was the year that you, like, met my dad at that picnic. You probably picked up that, like, something wasn't right with me, and that was what it was.
And you shared it like you're sharing now. You shared it then
Yeah,
openly and you're sharing it now openly. Yeah. So I mean that's very vulnerable and I appreciate that because I think a lot of people are going through similar things. A lot of people are suffering. We don't know what's going on with people, right?
that's the like, always.
Yeah.
And that again, that extends to my team. Like, put in a snack bar in the back, and it's nothing big, but it's also, like, we know, like, the cost of living is going up, people are struggling. We quietly donate berries during the season fresh to our local food bank, and the first year we did it, they took, like, 6 baskets a week. They're now up to, like, 12 to 24 baskets a week. Like, the demand is going
Wow.
up,
That's
and
amazing.
because I hire within our community, I don't know for sure that somebody that's on my payroll is not also getting one of those,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Whew.
and it's none of my business. But I know that, like, if I can have snacks in the broom for them, I don't know that they can't afford to bring lunch with them, or if it's just one of those, like, I just threw stuff together sort of thing. Because again, they're teenagers and sometimes they'll just chuck random things in a bag for lunch. But if I can have, like, somewhat healthy snacks, maybe something, like, kind of fun, a treat, that's there for
Yeah.
them, and they can do that because, the science shows that, like, if they're well fed, they're gonna perform better. You see that in schools, but it works here
Yeah.
too, and,
For
like,
for sure.
I know for myself, I get hangry. Like, I'm useless to anybody at a certain point if I haven't been fed. So, like, it actually is to your benefit
Yeah.
to keep them well fed and energized and whatever. Um, but, like, everybody's going through something, whether you're behind the counter, you're sitting behind a desk, you're leading a team, you're the person walking onto the property for the first time for your first visit to pick blueberries. Everybody's going through stuff, and I think we just forget that all the time because you're so focused on your own shit,
Yeah. No,
which I get it.
yeah.
Like, that you just don't understand that everybody else is going through stuff too.
And I love you said something earlier too, like if a customer is kind of giving one of your staff shit, not that you want it, you not that you want that to happen, but if they're taking something out on them, if it's not in a huge way, it's like reminding the staff what you do that, what they, say to them or what they, what is it, what they think of them is none of their business. So even though it may look like they're taking something out on them, not to take it personally because it's probably coming from it's usually kind of misdirected frustration and misdirected
Yeah,
anger and has
but
nothing to do
that's,
with
like,
them.
the biggest reminder I have to tell myself all
Yeah,
the time
oh,
because through yeah.
yes, me too.
Through all of the therapy that I've done
Yes,
is that
me too.
I now understand that I've really tied my identity to business. And so it is one of those like, look, I grew up here. My parents own the business. I literally have been working here since I was like 11.
Yeah.
Like,
There's
and
no
I'm
more
almost
personal commitment, attachment, dedication,
no,
connection than what you have.
but it's also one of those of like, if somebody doesn't enjoy their experience here, it doesn't mean that I've done something wrong.
Right. That's right.
Or if it's not a personal attack to me, and that is a
Yeah.
constant reminder that I need to have, and so sometimes that has looked like me not being here all the time and not necessarily dealing with every person that wants to talk to a manager or an owner. My therapist did a great analogy that actually helped my parents understand a little bit more the
Oh,
shift that I
cool.
had to make,
Yeah.
which was this was last year, so it was, like, during our, federal election, so it was like, "Do you think everybody that wants to talk to Mark Carney gets access to him? Do you think everybody that wants to talk to Taylor Swift gets access to her? No.
Right.
There's levels of access."
Yeah. Very cool. I love that.
And that helps, and there's also, like, I don't look at our social media during the season, I don't answer like, anything that's not a direct email to me during the season, I don't look at them.
Right. Yeah.
I'd build out a team to take care of that for me because I need that level of separation to still have that energy of like, "Hey guys, we're really excited." because otherwise I'll just like will take real hard some days. Um, but also like, do I have to be like I said, do I have to be here all the time? No. So can I go and do this? Or can like we did a lot of TV last year, which was really new, and I love doing it. It's like
Mm.
this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's a conversation. I love doing it. So like let's build out my day of doing that stuff which still benefits the farm, but I don't necessarily have to deal with all of those 25,000 people that come.
Yeah, right, exactly, and I think it's like it's those reminders to you, to your staff, and just continue. I think that's also communication, and that's also, building trust and creating some
Absolutely.
boundaries and really knowing what those are for you and for your staff. So, and it sounds like you're really clear as far as communicating those, which is amazing. So,
Again, there's levels of access on that. So sometimes that but truthfully, because
yeah,
sometimes the newer hires, like, they don't get to know all of the information. They don't get to know what the background is. But the ones that have maybe been with us for a couple of years and our supervisors get more of that background. They've also been here, so they've seen the evolution of it. And again, like I have like I mentioned the team member that I have here today, he's like my favorite human ever. I tell him this all the time, so it's fine. But he's even said it to me of like, "We know that that's triggering for you, and you've taught us how to deal with it,
right.
so let us do it for you."
Yeah, I love that. Wow. That's like they're
So it
really
becomes
listening, yeah. And they
yeah,
really
and it
care.
becomes that reciprocal absolutely.
Mhm.
You put the care and effort into them, you get it back.
Yeah, it's like if you take really good care of your employees, they're gonna take really good care of your
Take care of
company.
you.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you, and the guests, everything, it expands outwards, yeah.
absolutely.
There's no better investment, yeah, in time and energy and everything, yeah,
Yeah.
I love what you're doing there. So is
And also,
yeah,
like, why do you not wanna spend time with people
yeah,
that just you love spending time with? Like, I'm not hiring people to fill a space that I'm just like, "Oh, I don't wanna see that person today." Like, why do you wanna if you're putting so many hours into work every day and every year and so much of your life goes to work, why are you having people on your team that you don't like working with
yeah, it's great, and yeah, I
and
think
that aren't excited to spend time with you?
and then there's that thing too with hiring too. If you do hire someone that ends up not being a good fit, there's that balance between you don't want to give up too soon because I think that sends the wrong message to the team, but you'd also don't want to hang on too long because then that negatively impacts the team as well. So it's trying to find that balance so that you care. I remember hiring, back in the day when I had a smaller team, and I would say like if you're not happy here, if there's something, whether it's something I'm doing or the team or whatever it is, or you're looking to move on, let's have a conversation about it. Let's see if there's something we can do. And you mentioned this too, as far as with your team. Let's talk about it. Let's see if we can shift things and make it work so that you're happy here and you enjoy coming to work. And I'll do the same thing, like if I'm not there's something that you're doing or not doing, I mean, I'll share with you. And I always promise. I said if we decide to part ways, like if I decide to let you go, I 100% promise it will not be a surprise. Because we will have had conversations and tried to work through it and then just, agreed that, this isn't something we can work through. And I would just say I'd appreciate the same respect, like as opposed to
Yeah.
just like bailing and leaving. They give me 2 days notice, even 2 weeks sometimes can be challenging, right? But give me as
Yeah.
as much as you can, much so
Well, and that's even why, like I've already mentioned a couple of times, this orientation thing that I do. So my hiring process is you get to send in a resume. I have a whole like application. And then from that, we invite those that we're interested in to what I call orientation. And because they're 9 times out of 10, they're teenagers. My entire team last year was from the ages of 15 to 20 last year. That was it. So the parents come in because sometimes we've learned that the parents can be more of a challenge than the kids over the years. And so, and
the
I,
in-laws, it's like sometimes the
oh
in-laws
yeah,
look like
yeah.
the in-laws.
And we do a whole thing, and it's only about an hour and a half. But I bring in like a scone tray. We do it on a Saturday morning. Everybody gets snacks and all of that kind of thing. But then it's me going like, these are my expectations if you join the team.
Yeah,
There are no hard feelings if this is not the right fit for you. But tell me now.
Yeah.
Like, this is my almost low effort way to start to weed people out. So, if you are like I already mentioned, if you are the type of family that likes to do a cottage every weekend, probably not
Mhm.
the right place for you.
Right.
I'm asking a maximum of 4 weeks of your time. Like, if you wanna spend your summer going here and there and
Mhm.
whatever, probably not the right place for you. Um, I also end it with, "Parents, I appreciate everything that you're gonna do to get your kid to and from a job here, but I hired them and not you, so outside of a lovely conversation we may have in the parking lot when you pick them up or drop them off, this is the last conversation I'm having with you, because
And you're
we're
saying
gonna
with love and respect and gratitude.
Absolutely, and that's why I
Yeah, and
said I
clear.
start harsh and then I go, like, a lot softer after the fact.
Right.
But it is, where it's like, you want your kid to have a job because they wanna be an adult, so let's treat them like the adult that we're trying to make them into. And here's your off-ramp now. 'Cause then I'll do that, and then I'll say, like, "Go home, talk about it with your family. If this is not the right fit, no hard feelings, send me an email before this date, and I wish you the best of luck wherever you end up." And then we go into one-on-one interviews because why am I putting that much time and effort into somebody that's already
Right.
not the right fit?
Okay, that's a great idea. It reminds me of, Tony Hsieh from Zappos when he was alive, founder of Zappos, and he would do a training program, and I don't know if it was like a 3-week training program. I don't have all the details, but basically, he would pay people after the first week $2,000 to leave the training program, because he
Oh
wanted
my
to see how committed they
fit.
were. And
Yeah.
the people that wanted that money, that it wasn't really a great fit, and they were just like, "Yeah, you know what? I'd rather take $2,000, and leave." But for him, it saved him way more than that if they
Yeah.
they hired, so it's kinda like with with your orientation, but not without the $2,000 check.
Yeah, no, I'm not forking out $2,000
I'm
for
not
those.
suggesting that, but I just thought it was
No, no,
really
no, we're
interesting. I'd never heard that. Yeah.
but I honestly, I took it
Mhm.
from another business, and originally when I put it in, I did the interviews first, and then we did the orientation,
Yeah.
and I actually ended up the people that were at the top of our list
Right.
were then the ones that were like, "You know what? This is probably not a right fit for me." So, it happened on more than one occasion, so I was like,
Right.
"Why have I put in so much time and effort, got really excited about this person for them to just leave? Let's flip it."
Oh my god.
S
That's such a great idea,
s
and it's funny when you first started talking about the orientation, I thought you were talking about it at the end, and then I realized as as you continue, it's like, no, that's at the beginning, right? Because then you
Yeah.
said then you do the interviews, so
Yeah, then we do
I
interviews,
love
and then we
that.
go into like actual training with the team. Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh.
It's a long
Right.
process, but
Yeah.
you know what? It's worked really well.
Mhm.
We have such a great mix every year, and the kids that come back are already drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yes.
So they're already like in that. I'm sure they sometimes go back to
Mm.
their friends or their family and be like, I am working for a crazy woman.
Right.
'Cause we also do, like, mindset. So, like, let's write
Mm.
out what the season's gonna be like before we've opened, but we're gonna write it out like it's at the end of the season, and we're talking about how great the guests were and how much fun we
Wow.
had and all that stuff, and I have it, like, on a board in the hallway
I
that the
love
kids get to
that.
see. So it is
That's
a
special
lot of the stuff
and
we
unique.
learned from Hannah that
Yeah.
I'm just, like, subliminally passing down.
Channeling. We're
Yeah.
channeling Hannah, both of us. Yeah, she's here with
Absolutely,
us, yeah.
always. But it works because this year, my ops manager who's here today literally sent out he asked if he could do it, and I was like, "Sure, knock yourself out. You might as well ask if they're gonna come back while you're at it." He sent out a survey of like, "What did you think you got enough training on? What would you have wished you had more training on? And what is your favorite part of working here?" And across the board, almost every single one of them is like, I love the people I work with, and I love how much fun we're having.
Yeah. Well, you can't ask for much more than that, Courtney.
No.
Like, I love, 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 I know I'm keeping you here longer than I maybe promised. We can go on for hours.
That's the problem. We got 2 chatty people
Oh my
together.
gosh, this is so good, but before we kinda wrap up, I'd love to ask you, like, for those kinda listening, like, what do you hope they feel after listening to our conversation?
Some kind of inspiration on how to have more fun with your team. And whatever that team looks like, whether it's a team of, like, 3 people or you're leading a huge group. Like, what are little things? A lot of this is low effort. One of the favorite things, which I haven't mentioned,
Yes.
on the Sunday of the August long weekend, because it 9 times out of 10 is our busiest weekend, it's also 9 times out of 10 our opening weekend, I buy everybody working that day Starbucks. They can order whatever drink they want,
That's cool.
and I've learned ahead of time, so when we I'm planning ahead now. When I have them fill out, like, I need obviously all the regular stuff that you need for an employee, like their address, their birthdays, their sins, all of that stuff. At the
Right.
bottom of it, as like, what is your Starbucks drink? So I'm not
Oh,
chasing them every
so
like,
you
what do you
already
want?
have it.
What do
Oh
you
my
want?
God, that's
Yeah,
so
I
good.
already have them all,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
months in advance. I have them all. And then I just go in and our local Starbucks knows that we're coming. We go all the time anyway, so they know us and then they know that day is coming. I pre-order it. They have everything ready for me and pick it up.
it's so good.
But, like,
Yeah.
that's not a high effort thing,
Mhm. But it means
really,
so much to them, I'm
but
sure.
they get so excited about it,
Yeah. Yeah.
that they actually, like they get disappointed if they ask for the day off and then realize that it's Starbucks day.
Yeah, right.
Everybody gets it made up for if you're not there, but the point is they're like, "Damn it, it's Starbucks day." Like, when you see it click and they're like, "Damn it,
Mhm.
it's that," or, like, one of the local donut shops does, like, a fun flavor, and I get a box of donuts for everybody, like, it doesn't have to be complicated, or
No.
somebody's birthday and you run out and get, like, a generic Dairy Queen cake, and everybody gets to have cake or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be big things.
Yeah.
You can, and
That's a great
obviously we
reminder.
do with, like, our end of season kinda celebration and wrap up,
Mhm.
but I don't plan that. They plan it themselves. Like, they get so excited to plan it
Right.
that I've just said, "Okay, this is like" they'll come and say, "Are we allowed to have this? Can we spend that money?" And it's a yes or no. It's easy things that you can do, and it elevates the mood of everybody there.
And everyone
And then, as you
benefits.
said, it trickles.
Yeah. Which is such a beautiful reminder. Like, this has been such a great conversation. It's just like
Loved this
this is gonna
conversation.
ripple. Yeah. Since so, like, thank you for sharing this. And I just before kind of, closing, just for people that want to get in touch with you, and I'll post it and I'll put, in the post, I'll put your like, so what's the best place if they want to come check out Wilmot Orchards, that they want to connect with you? What's the best way to do it? And I'll add it in the info.
Our website is wilmotblueberries.com,
Yes.
and then we are at Wilmot Orchards on Instagram and Facebook, and then my personal Instagram is Courtney Brienne Stevens.
Okay, perfect. And I'll include all that too in the, so
Yeah.
people can find you for sure. That's amazing. So, I mean, Courtney, this has been like exactly kind of what I knew it would be, and way more. It's like
Oh,
it's hard
good.
to kind of um not project, but just to think about how much joy we're gonna have. I knew it was gonna be a great conversation, and it's even better, which is hard to believe than I thought. And just like there's just something the way that you show up, like it's real, it's warm, it's fun, it's inspiring. I think it reminds all of us that joy doesn't have to be complicated, as you said,
No.
right? Just something we choose, and let's choose the simple things and the easy things. It's something we create, something we share in just very simple human ways. So you make joy feel so easy and so accessible.
Oh, that's a
So
lovely thank you.
no, I'm really grateful for you, and I'm really grateful for this conversation. So yeah, thank you for
Been my
sharing
absolute pleasure.
that.
Yeah.
And then to everyone listening, like, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. If there's one thing to take away from this conversation, it's this, is that, joy isn't something you have to wait for. So it's something that you create, and how you show up, how you connect, and how you care for the people around you. And when you do, it spreads because, as Courtney and I both know, joy is contagious. So
Mhm.
keep living with more joy intentionally, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Thanks for spending this time with us on JOY², where joy multiplies and everything gets better. Remember, joy isn't just something you feel, it's something you create, and it's something you pass on. If this conversation sparks something in you, share it, because joy is contagious. What we're building here is bigger than a podcast. It's a reminder and a movement that how we live, work, and lead truly matters. Until next time, live with joy, lead with purpose, and never forget to have fun. Keep choosing joy squared. And if you're enjoying the journey, we'd be grateful if you subscribe, like, and share Joy Squared so the ripple keeps spreading.